Who wants to take this bet? They are funded by the communists. Who wants to take this bet and say that she is not going to say the freaking communists? Who's willing to bet me right now? I promise you she is about to say it's the freaking communists who fund him. Kay has a deep hate for Candace Owens, so I was hoping she would be here.
Facebook is trying to delete me. Big Tech is trying to delete us, our movement. We must stop them. You are smart. Long ago, you stopped believing in the corrupt...
Oh, no. Okay. So I haven't actually seen this entire thing yet, but oh my goodness, Candace Owens. So last week, we went over a video where we talked about propaganda and how they use videos on YouTube to put out all sorts of propaganda, how they prime you, how they start to give you like these specific words to make sure that like you feel like you're on their side and you're very empowered. And then as long as you agree with them in the end, you're one of the good guys. You're on the right side of things. So she starts this off with, "You're smart," which when she says that, she's saying like, as long as you believe what I believe, you're a smart person. So this is Candace Owens doing some propaganda here. This is kind of different for her. She doesn't normally do this sort of stuff. She normally does like podcasts and things like that. So for her to be doing propaganda, normally she like spits propaganda on a consistent basis, but she doesn't do propaganda videos. So let's start this over, because like even like the music that they use and like the way that they like try to add a tone to it and the seriousness of it, it's all very interesting. So I think we're going to break down some propaganda again today. This is going to be good.
Facebook is trying to delete me. Big Tech is trying to delete us, our movement. We must stop them. You are smart. Long ago, you stopped believing in the corrupt corporate media. You canceled the newspapers.
So in order for you to be smart, you cannot believe anything that the mainstream media says. This is how you are smart. Candace, this is lazy. Come on.
And cable shows and began reading your news from social platforms. Dominant on those platforms were conservative voices, like mine. We are the Americans who did not have a voice in traditional media. Honestly, do you think the left wants me to have a platform to speak? But I can have a voice. Here, on my...
I don't think that Candace Owens wants people on the left to have a platform to speak. I don't think that she's actively out trying to get them taken off of their platforms, like, or you know, reporting them to YouTube. But she is making takedown videos against them where she's trying to debunk everything that they say so that they lose followers. It's, in the end, it's pretty much the same thing. She's trying to get rid of leftists.
My own social platforms. I can be heard. That freedom infuriates the left, who used to own complete control over our information. So they hatched a plan to silence me and all of us conservatives.
There's already a problem here when she says the left or leftists. Not really sure what it is she's talking about, because people like her will use the word leftist when they're referring to like right-wing liberals. You know, when they're talking about somebody like Joe Biden, they'll say the left. Normally, the left begins with like progressivism and Marxism, whether we're talking about like social or economic, left versus right. It's a very weird way of framing it, because even people like Ben Shapiro and Dennis Prager and Candace Owens, they'll all say, I differentiate liberals from leftists. They say this all the time. But when they use the word leftist, they're talking about liberals. When she's talking about social media platforms and then uses the word leftists, as if Mark Zuckerberg is a leftist, as if he's a socialist or a communist or something like that, that's ridiculous. Like, these owners of these massive corporations who are benefiting so much from capitalism are not leftists. Like, these people are not socialists. That is a ridiculous statement. So she's trying to blur the lines so that she can use words like leftist, because that's big and scary.
And Facebook is paying them for it. Here is how it works. In 2016, hysterical liberals had to find someone to blame for their humiliating loss to Donald Trump. In their minds, they could not possibly have lost due to their own horrendous candidates or policies or their own failing message, so they attacked the one thing that they did not have total control over: social media companies.
So actually, I agree with this part. There were lots of documentaries made about how bad how all of these companies used ads on mainstream media to make Hillary look really bad and Donald Trump to look really good. That's normal. It's just like any other commercials that are put out on NBC or CBS or anything else. That they're exactly the same. They're no different. But they acted like, because it was on social media and because we had targeted ads for people who were more likely to buy into this information, that now all of a sudden it's way different. Now this is brainwashing. This isn't just an ad on TV. This is brainwashing. That's ridiculous. It just is. I'm sorry. It's the same as any other ad. Like the liberals who were freaking out about Russia using targeted ads to make Hillary Clinton look bad. So what? Like, so what?
They applied extreme pressure to silence or censor fake news, which was just a fancy way of saying news that they don't like.
So here's another problem. Anybody who has problems with fact checking, I immediately distrust them. If you have a problem with people checking your facts, there's immediately a problem here. If you don't want to be fact checked, like I encourage people to fact check me all the time. I encourage people to disagree with me. I encourage people to debate me, right? Like, I want to make sure that I get it right. Hopefully, this makes me more trustworthy. But for somebody like Candace Owens or Donald Trump, like, when their biggest enemy is somebody who checks their facts, there's absolutely no reason to trust these people. It just seems as though you want to be able to lie without anybody holding you accountable. Tim Cheat on YouTube said, I cannot stand how in videos like this and in the PragerU ones, how everyone has the same Candace. It's creepy. Oh, cadence. Sorry, not Candace. You said the same cadence. I'm like, what does that mean? The same Candace? Like, PragerU does use Candace Owens a lot, but so yeah, they all have this, like, yes, this creepy cadence of like, this is serious. The world is coming to an end, but you're smart. You can see it before it happens. Yeah.
Facebook bent to that pressure and created a fact-checker network with godlike powers over all of us. Here is how Facebook fact-checking works. A website you have never heard of, run by partisan beta leftists, stalk the pages of your favorite conservative personalities. Whenever we say anything they disagree with, these fact-checkers write a vicious partisan hit piece. Then they harass us and our audience.
I would like to get some liberals or even socialists or communists to post stuff on Facebook talking about like fake votes and see if Facebook puts the little, incomplete information tag at the bottom or something like that. Because I'm pretty sure they will. I don't think that they're just going after conservatives. I'm pretty sure literally everybody will have the same exact problem. It's no different for anybody on the left or on the right.
By slapping hazardous warning labels on what we have posted. Many times, those labels say missing context or disputed. Yes, thanks, Facebook. Every political argument in America is disputed. Every argument is indeed missing some context.
Okay. All right. So this is massive conflation right here. This is very common when it comes to propaganda. She has to conflate arguments with facts. Those are not the same thing. They're not the same thing. When we're talking about facts, those are not normally just arguments or opinions, right? Like they're just facts. They're just like concrete things that we can point to in the world. I am wearing a black hat. Now, you can say, well, according to Spanish, you're actually wearing a negro hat. And you'd be correct. Maybe the facts change a little bit depending on definitions. So once we define terms, then we can talk about what the facts are. But for the most part, fact checkers use a very broad, generally agreed upon platform of facts and terms and definitions. So she is conflating facts with opinions. Those are not the same thing. They're just not. And I'm going to rewind it a little bit just in case you missed that. She's talking about facts and then starts talking about arguments.
Many times, those labels say missing context or disputed. Yes, thanks, Facebook. Every political argument in America is disputed. Every argument is indeed missing some context. But the insanity continues. These hack checkers, as I like to call them, would be just an annoyance, but Facebook gives them the ability to destroy the reach of our content, so we cannot communicate with you.
Okay, hold on. Candace Owens is one of the biggest content creators on the internet. Like, across all of political platforms, Candace Owens is massive. So let's see real quick. See, I'm not sure if this is actually Candace Owens here. Yeah, okay, this is Candace Owens. All right, so this is her on Facebook, while Facebook is trying to silence her, right? She said they're trying to make her disappear, and they're silencing her. She has 3 million people who like this page. 25 of them are my friends. That's awesome. This video has 6.5 thousand comments, 3.2 thousand shares. I don't see the views on here. Cancel culture gets much darker. Okay, hold on. This is the video that we're watching right now.
our movement. We must stop them. You are smart. Long ago, you stopped believing in the corrupt corporate media. You canceled.
I'm trying to find where it has the views, but anyways, does anybody see the views on here? Am I crazy? I don't know. But it has 328,000 shares, okay? Like, these people are not silencing her. In no way is she silenced.
Information. So they have.
Okay, there it is. 3.9 million views. She's got almost 4 million views on this. And she's saying that she's been silenced. 3.9 million views. And it was posted only 4 days ago. And somehow she's silenced. This is like, she's trying. She's trying, guys. Like, we'll give that much to her.
They demonetize our pages so we can't make a living producing content for our audiences. And here is the breathtaking part. Most of these fact checks are pure partisan bile. They're false, fake, untrue. But there is no recourse for your favorite conservative creators. We are held at gunpoint by these partisan hacks, and Facebook is giving them the gun.
So Facebook is actually very right-leaning. Like, I don't know. She's saying, so again, when it comes to propaganda, they have to make a lot of generalizations. She's not going to give you like specific points of like, this video was taken down at this time, or, this creator was silenced at this time, and this is how many followers they lost, and this is how many views they lost, and this is how much revenue they lost. She's not going to do that. She's going to be very general with what it is she's saying. Conservatives are being silenced, and they're losing money, and they are losing views. But she's not actually going to give you like very specific points. Facebook is very right-leaning, especially compared to like Twitter. Twitter's very left-leaning. Facebook is very right-leaning. That's just the way it is. It's true. And for her to act like Facebook is this like leftist, communist organization that's trying to take down all the right-wingers and conservatives, that's actually kind of ridiculous. Amanda, I will take my shirt off later. Chill. Facebook, who banned Trump and warns you that you might not like Tim Pool and other right-wing pundits if you try to like their page, are so right-leaning, yo. Well, wait, what do you mean they say that you might not like Tim Pool? What is that? What does that mean? Is there like a story on this? Well, I guess there's somebody who put out a video on it, so I'm going to take a look at it right after this. But yes, Candace Owens is saying that all right-leaning people are being censored, as is she. But she hasn't given any like examples of her being censored or silenced, or nor anybody else. Try to like Tim Pool's page live on air. Okay. All right, let me go back to Facebook. The check mark. 169,000 people like this, including one of your friends. When you like a page, you'll see updates from it in your newsfeed. You may want to review Tim Pool to see the types of content it usually shares. Is that them telling me that I might not like it? Here, let's see what happens when I go to somebody else who's like a left-leaning creator. Let's do oh, that's cool. My page comes up when you search Sam Cedar. Doesn't look like Sam Cedar. Okay, so the American Prospect, I believe, is a left-leaning page. So let's see. So when I like their page, it doesn't say I should check their content before choosing whether or not I like it. That's interesting. Yeah, if you want to see my shirt taken off, you got to watch the whole show. But you'll definitely like Tim Cheetah. Yeah. Urasama said, it's new. If you try to like right-wing pundits pages, they are like, are you sure? You'll see this in your feed. You might want to look at their content first. It doesn't do this for David Pakman or other left-wing pundits I've looked at. So I would imagine if they've put out things that have been censored a bunch, like, about fake votes or something like that, then after a number of times, they start to put those sorts of things up. I would be interested to find out if it does it for my page, because I have 3 strikes right now. If I get one more, I'm done. Like, Facebook is going to take me off completely. And each one is for like misunderstandings. Like, each one is stuff where I didn't even do what it is that they're accusing me of. Like, one of them was like I was promoting hate speech and hate groups, because on a thumbnail where we're talking about how bad the far right is and like how racist and divisive they are, on the thumbnail I had pictures of the KKK and like burning crosses and Confederate flags and stuff like that. And because of that, I got a strike, because they said I was promoting hate speech or hate groups, which I wasn't promoting them. I didn't promote them at all, but I get in trouble for this stuff all the time. And so I have 3 strikes now. And if I do one more thing, they're going to completely take down my tomfoolery channel. So I'm on the edge. Even just last week, I was back in Facebook jail again. Lots of you who have been around for a while remember when I was in, I literally couldn't post anything on Facebook for over a month. So, but this time I was only in Facebook jail for like a couple of days. And it's because I kind of posted something that was a little edgy. Aha, tomfoolery gets the warning. Yeah. It doesn't do it for chickens. I'm curious if it will for yours. Yeah. I would be interested to know if any of you don't follow me on Facebook. Now's the time. Go to facebook.com/Sam facebook.com/tomfoolerypc, and it will take you straight to my page. It's that one right in the middle. facebook.com/tomfoolerypc. Go like the page real quick and tell me if it gives you any sort of thing about me. I checked. I do get it when I like your page. Okay. And you know why that is? You know why you're getting that? I can tell you why. It's because the communists who run Facebook are trying to silence me and all other conservatives. They want to make sure that we don't get the truth out there. So they fact check us. They make claims about hate speech and hate organizations. What does hate mean? Nope. What does that even mean? What are facts? What does that even mean? They're making up new words just so that they can put us down and keep the world from hearing what we have to say. And then they'll call us fascists. But if they're not going to let us post whatever we want on their platforms, then who's the real fascist, guys?
This is why I am suing the Facebook fact checkers.
What?
I'm suing them on behalf of you, your favorite creators and news sites.
Thank you so much, Candace Owens. Thank you so much for suing them on behalf of me. She's doing it for me, guys. She's doing it for you. What a hero. Candace Owens is a hero, guys. So brave. She is so brave to be willing to go and sue Facebook on behalf of us. Candace is suing fact checkers on behalf of Tomfoolery Podcast. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much, Candace Owens. Well, I don't know what to say. I guess I'm sure shortly you'll tell me what your Patreon is so I can send you money, and thank you for all of this.
On behalf of our freedom of speech and thought. So who are these hack checkers? Well, I'm suing a site called Lead Stories. Lead Stories is run by a former CNN employee of 26 years who makes a living cannibalizing and slandering conservative content and creators. His website has published disputed fake news stories, including one that went after my content personally. And so I'm going after him personally. Here is an...
Wait a second. Wait a second. What does that mean? His website has published disputed fake news stories. Is she saying that his website disputes other people's stories and says that they're fake news? Or is she saying his website publishes news that is fake and disputed? What is she saying there? This is... If she's really saying that, like, you can't fact check people, you shouldn't be able to dispute what other people say, but you can, but she's willing to say that they're fake news and that their stories are disputed. Let's listen to this again.
His website has published disputed fake news stories, including one that went after my content personally.
Oh, she is. She is. That's what she's saying. That's really what she's saying. She's saying his website publishes news that is fake. That's what she's saying, because she's saying, like, he went after my stuff, and I know that I'm right. So when he publishes something about me, then his news is fake news. That's what she's saying. She just said you can't do that. She just said you should not publish other stuff about other people, fact-checking them and calling them fake news. And she just called him fake news and said that his stuff is disputed. What? But you guys are smart. You know that when they fact check her, it's no longer fake news. That when they fact check her, that's when they're wrong. You guys know these things. You're smart.
So I'm going after him personally. Here is an important question. Who funds Lead Stories? According to their own masthead, Lead Stories is funded by Facebook and Google.
I bet you they're funded by the communists. I bet you anything they're funded by the freaking communists. Who wants to take this bet? They are funded by the communists. Who wants to take this bet and say that she is not going to say the freaking communists? Who's willing to bet me right now? I promise you she is about to say it's the freaking communists who fund him. Like, obviously, if he's fact checking on behalf of Facebook, Facebook is funding him, I guess. Like, if I work as a cashier at McDonald's, like, is McDonald's funding me? Then I feel like that's a weird way to put it. Like, they pay him for work to say that they're funding him. Oh, Tim, you're right. Funded by George, you know who. Urasama was on it too. Soros funded. True. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's not the communists. Maybe it's George Soros. Okay. All right. So you guys are taking George Soros. I'm taking the communists. That's a good one. I wish I thought
Google,
of it.
Along with ByteDance. And what is ByteDance? It's a Beijing-based company that owns the TikTok spyware app.
Ah! It's Chinese! It's Chinese! Ah! Chinese! It's the communists! The communists are funding the fact checkers. Yeah! Yeah! Suck it! You guys are stupid! I'm smart! Suck it!
Our own Justice Department says the company is a national security threat and compromised by the Communist Party of China. Facebook, then, is paying for fact checkers funded by an arm of the Communist Party of China to censor my content here in America. The Communist Party of China has more say over my content than the First Amendment.
Whoa. The First Amendment has absolutely nothing to do with your content. When I'm sorry. I know I talk about this all the time, guys. Once it's on another person's platform, it is no longer your decision. If somebody comes into my house to have dinner and they call my wife the B word, that doesn't mean that I have to let them stay for dinner. I can kick them out of my house. I can't be like, I don't like you calling my wife the B word, but it's protected under the First Amendment. So would you like more green beans? Like, I can't. That's not how it works. Like, if I create a platform for Christians and I say, like, hey, I want people to be able to, like, post live videos for Bible studies and stuff like that, and be able to interact with other Christians. And then somebody starts creating content where they're like, hey guys, so today we're going to be praising Lucifer. I'm a Luciferian. And if you will all put on your horns now, we are going to say the devil's prayer. Like, I should be allowed to kick this person off the platform because this is not what the platform was created for. The First Amendment would not apply to that. The First Amendment is between you and your government. The First Amendment means that the government cannot stop you. And I even think it's not even the government. I think it's even, like, more specific than that. I think it's Congress, right? I believe it's just Congress that can't. Let's Let's see. Dr. Chester Cat said, LOL, heads up, Texas has entered a bill to leave the union. Oops. Urasama said, you're not wrong, but this also leads into the can big tech just silence half the world problem. Yeah, true. And I think that they're definitely inconsistent with who they, with PogChamp, with the oop. Yeah. Is that all you got, Kale? Child? Who are they talking to? Are they talking to Urasama because he said PogChamp? Now he's a child? Yes. Is that, if you're talking to me, is this all I got? Yes. The First Amendment is all I've got. The Constitution of the United States. The First Amendment to the United States Constitution prevents the government from making laws which regulate an establishment of religion, or that would prohibit free exercise of religion. Or abridge the freedom of speech, the freedom of the press, the freedom of assembly, or the right to petition the government for redress of grievances. So, yes, this part right here where it says prevents the government. Prevents the government. Like, yes, when it comes to what I got, when I'm talking about the Constitution, yes, this is all I've got. It's the Constitution. That's it. That's all. When I'm making an argument about the Constitution, all I've got is the Constitution. If you're making arguments about the Constitution and you're not using the Constitution, then I don't know what you're using. Let's see. Where did... Okay, there we go. Candace Owens cry. Not sure if it was me or you. Yeah, me neither. Big tech is practically the government. Come on, man. We need a law change. So I personally, as a conservative, I'm not in favor of a lot of regulation on businesses. I feel as though businesses also have the freedom of speech, or should have freedom of speech. And when they ban somebody, that is freedom of speech. This is them saying, like, we don't want this language on our platform. So that is still freedom of speech. Now, my issue with it is, like, I agree that Donald Trump should have been removed from Twitter because he did violate the TOS. The problem here, though, is that they're not consistent with who they ban for violating TOS. There's lots of people who violate TOS. I mean, we all know, like, tons of examples of Kathy Lee Gifford violating TOS and never getting in trouble whatsoever. She doesn't get banned. Her tweets don't get taken down. She doesn't get, she doesn't get strikes. She gets absolutely nothing. Nobody cares. She put out a whole big long thing about Sandman when all those MAGA hat kids were dancing around the Native American guy, and then, like, the whole fake news thing spread everywhere where they were saying that, like, these kids were attacking him and yelling racial slurs at him and all sorts of stuff. Kathy Lee Gifford put out a tweet saying, I've got like $1,000 for whoever doxes this kid or something like that. Like, she never got in trouble for that. And that obviously violates the TOS. Encouraging people to dox a kid is not only encouraging doxing, which is against TOS, but it's also encouraging violence, because why do you want to know where he lives? Why would you want to know that? What are you trying to find that out for? Anything you want to say to him, you can say to him on social media or anywhere else. Why do you want to be in person with him? I believe you're encouraging violence in this case, which is exactly what Trump got banned for. So if Trump's getting banned for this, Kathy Lee Gifford definitely should be getting banned for this. So I wouldn't say that we should put regulation on private businesses or private corporations, but I would say that there's a problem, or we need to hold these corporations accountable when they start when they start throwing out TOS inconsistently. Urasama said, I want a ton of freedom for businesses, but I see a need to differentiate businesses and really big corporations. Did you see how Poland is fighting big tech? It's pretty cool. I haven't. Maybe we'll look at that next.
This is insanity. It's un-American. It's dangerous. And it needs to stop. This is why I am fighting. Our freedoms are at stake.
I mean, I think you fighting against Twitter's or Facebook's freedom of speech, I think that's un-American.
Our movement is at stake. We know these battles are taking place all over the world. Do you wish to support me in my efforts against these hack checkers? Well, the easiest thing you can do right now is share this video. If you wish to donate in support, you can head to www.factcheckzuck.com. We will fight and we will win.
This is why she says she's doing it for you, so that you donate to her campaign or her lawsuit to stop them from censoring her. But she says, like, I don't. Okay, so as I said in the beginning, she wasn't going to give any specific facts or any specific examples. We don't know what it is they took down of hers, what it is that she said that got censored, or what it is that they fact checked that that they put like a label on saying, you know, missing information or whatever. We have absolutely no clue what it is that she's suing them over. She didn't say. We have absolutely no clue what her issue is. So we just saw her video over there has about 4 million views on Facebook. Subscriber for the last 30 days, she's down 36%. So this, I mean, this is on YouTube though. She's not this isn't on Facebook. Dang, dude, she jumped in subs in June, early June. Oh, that's when she put out her video about what's his name? Who was the guy who got his knee, like, or who died from a knee on his neck? I keep wanting to call him like Malcolm or something like that. But yeah, this happened in the beginning of June. So that's when she put out like her ridiculously gross video about how like he deserved it because he does drugs or because he's committed crimes in the past. Like, it was all pretty gross. Ah, yes, George Floyd. Okay. So yeah, she's doing pretty well. Like, she's doing really well. Her estimated earnings on just that one platform is $1.1 thousand just from the ads at the beginning of the video. This doesn't include the ads that are throughout the video or her like personal sponsors that she finds, which she does do those things, and she says like, hey, this video was brought to you by blah 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 blah. So she has all sorts of people funding her. Let me pull up the actual court case and see if we can, like, the actual complaint. Important information for everyone to know about coronavirus. Obesity is the #1 killer in America. Right now, they are giving everyone who dies a COVID-19 lab test. If people die from heart disease but were asymptomatic carriers of COVID-19, their deaths are counted towards the total. Same with other viruses and illnesses. I am asymptomatic. If I die from an asthma attack today, it is determined that I have COVID-19 in my system at the time of death. My death counts as complications from coronavirus. If I never get any symptoms, they're trying desperately to get the numbers they need to justify the pandemic. This is just stupid. Oh, this is dumb. Okay, so there are different types of diseases, and some diseases are actually just like, they don't kill you themselves, but they weaken your immune system, or they weaken your body to where you're more likely to die from other things. So something like AIDS, literally nobody has ever died from AIDS itself. Okay. AIDS weakens your immune system and makes it to where your white blood cells can no longer fight against anything, to where literally anything and everything that comes within a certain distance of you or comes within your path, you end up getting that, and it becomes very severe very quickly. Small things like the common cold, somebody with AIDS dies from that. Okay, they don't have the immune system to fight it off. So when they die, if they die from bronchitis, or they die from the flu, or they die from whatever, it's not listed as, as dying from bronchitis or dying from pneumonia. I think pneumonia is actually the most common thing that people with AIDS die from. It's not listed as a pneumonia death. It's listed as an AIDS death, because AIDS, if they didn't get AIDS, they wouldn't have died from pneumonia. They probably never would have gotten pneumonia in the first place. Same with coronavirus. Small, simple things that the most of us can live with or just take medication for. Once you get coronavirus, it doesn't work that way anymore. It makes it way stronger within your body to where your body can no longer fight it off. And then you end up dying a whole lot more easily from these things. So it's listed as coronavirus. This is the way it's always been done. There are lots of things that they list in the same manner. It's not special. It's not different. Coronavirus, it's not like they came up with this whole new category and this whole new way of categorizing things just for COVID. It's not true. They didn't do that. This isn't the way things work. So yes, this is her posting fake news when she says they are trying desperately to get the numbers they need to justify this pandemic response. That's obviously incorrect. This is the way the medical community has always posted this stuff. All right, here's the other one. Below is an article that explains how they are manipulating deaths. I spent all day trying to look up daily death rates for any other disease. You can't get it anywhere. They're reporting only on coronavirus deaths. I suspect if we begin to demand the daily death toll numbers for heart disease, we will observe a deep decline. I am most interested in New York City overall deaths for this past month, not just from COVID-19. If anyone knows where we can get this information, please let me know. They seem to be locking it down. If they can tell us how many people are dying from coronavirus daily, why can't they tell us how many people are dying otherwise? It's not otherwise. It's from both. If they're dying from heart disease and they had COVID, it probably means that they were like taking medication for heart disease and they would have been fine. They would have lived. They would have continued on their life like normal. And maybe they would have died 5-10 years down the line. But they got COVID now, and now they died. They died right now. Not 5-10 years down the line. They died right now. Meaning that, yes, the heart disease is what caused their death, but the heart disease would not have caused their death if they didn't have COVID. These are simple things to understand. And I don't think that like anybody who doesn't understand them is now stupid. But I think that somebody like Candace Owens, if she was actually researching this stuff as much as she says she is in these posts, she would have found the information that she was looking for. No, she was trying to be ridiculous. So they took her post down and now she's suing them. Okay. All right. I mean, I guess if that's what you do, Candace, then we'll filed October 19th, 2020. Wow. So this has actually been up for a while. She's just now like publicizing this whole thing.